Welcome back to the lab. This one might be a little bit short. Remember the blue Z32, that one there? It's back. You might see in the previous video it was broken. It's fixed now. Differential output shaft. The old axle tramping at the drags and snapperoonie. So it was dead, needed rescuing and had to come back. We'll put that there. Oh dear, bit of a clue what's going on here. So it did have an oil leak, or two, or three, or four. In fact, 4. Maybe even 5. Check out the fly that's checking out the dead thing. So brand new seals went in here when this went back together. They lasted about not even 5,000 Ks and started leaking. Now, you can screw up an installation of camshaft seals, but I don't reckon I did. And looking at it, it seemed fine as far as the install. You can't really get it terribly wrong if you pinch the seal or maybe ping the spring off the back of it or something like that. Then yeah, or somehow damage the seal surface while putting it on or putting the gear inside it, as the case is for the inlet cams. Then yeah, it'll leak. But I'm better than that, and that hadn't happened. What had happened was somebody else hadn't finished their job properly. So these are some aftermarket cam gears. This is one that I've prepared earlier, as they say. I've tidied it up. Let's see how far we can zoom in. So quite a long way. That surface finish there, that's pretty acceptable. That's done with 1000 wet and dry paper to get it pretty good. There's a little bit of, we're dealing with very, very small surface here, as you can see by the size of my finger. There's a little bit of dust and stuff on there, but that's pretty good. So that's after I've fixed it. Gee, this is hard when it's zoomed in so far. Right, and here's the surface finish of the other one before I've fixed it. Can you see all the craters and everything on that surface? There we go. Now it's focused. Look at the state of that. And the poor camshaft seals running on that. I mean, you can see the size. There's the size of my finger. They don't like all this. You can actually feel that when you're running your fingernail across that. You can feel it's not a smooth surface. That's like effectively sandpaper for the poor seals. And it has just chewed them out. Let me see if I can do this. It's going to be bloody hard. There we go. There should be a nice sharp edge on that for the seal to work, and there's not. It's quite dull. It's been chopped away. So it was leakies. And poor customer is like, oh, I've just spent all this money and it's leaky. It needs to be fixed. And she's right. It shouldn't have been leaking. And the poor technician takes it apart and goes, that's not actually my fault. Like, it's kind of my problem because I did the job, but I didn't do those cam gears. And when you take them out of the box and they've got a thin film of oil on them, they look perfectly fine. So you just assume that the person has done their job correctly, and that's where the mistakes come in. So the whole QA thing has failed us there. I guess now that's something that I have to look at on absolutely everything going forward, is going down to that level of checking that people have done their jobs right. Otherwise you get burnt by it. So pretty crap. That one's easy. Put those in the lathe and whiz them up and polish them up, and then they're good to go back in the car. It's probably going to chew up 8 hours of my life fixing this for the customer. And there's also a little bit of an issue with the exhaust cams. Not sure on the focus that we've got here, but this is the, there we go, it's coming right. I'll try and point to it. Just in that area there where that black strip is. I'm not going to try and zoom in any further, but you can see that that's not particularly great either. So someone's tidied these up after the engine has exploded, and it gave the perception of it being tidied up enough, but it's just not quite there. So to rectify that, and can I find it? Oh, there, that was difficult. That as well is basically take that big red thing off the top, take the cam covers off, take all the cam bearing caps out, pull the camshafts out, put them on the spinny roundy thingy over there and polish the ends of them. Or maybe, I think I've got a contraption designed in my head where I'm maybe going to use a socket and some wet and dry paper inside out so that the paper, the sandy side of it's on that side, and run that backwards and forwards while I'm spinning the socket around, see if we can do that. I'll give that a go. If that does not work, then hey, we haven't really lost anything. We'll have to take that apart and fix it. Exhaust cams were just, I'm going to say, weeping. There was just a little bit coming out of those. There was evidence of it. It wasn't really wet because the dust was sticking to it and sorting it out. Inlet cams, it was hosing out of it. It was a mess. So, as you can see here, this is the inlet cam. Wet oil literally gushing out of the motor. Thanks very much to Mr. Man who does these. Great job. You suck. And here's the exhaust cams were definitely also leaking. Where's the other cover? Oh, it's underneath here. That has leaked, but not to the extent of perhaps this one was worse on this side. Yeah, this one's pretty bad, but again, the inlet is worse. So that's my day. Not making too much money today. Boo-hoo. And suddenly it was fixed. I say suddenly. It took a little bit of the day, like most of it. Haven't put these tubes on yet because I couldn't be bothered, because you just saw the time and I want to get inside. So I took the paper towels out so that we didn't blow those up and into the throttles. Not that we were opening the throttles, not that I was opening the throttles. And put the key in, gave a flick, it goes. So it's fixed, it runs. It has no coolant in it because we need a new radiator cap. So I can't fill it up and pressurize it anyway today. See the bit of a chunk out of the side of that one, and it's not looking all that great. So it wasn't sealing. I could squeeze the radiator hoses and the fluid was coming backwards and forwards through the tube instead of pressurizing and sucking it back. So I haven't filled it up because I can't pressurize it, and might as well let the sealant on the two water manifolds, I'm going to call them today, let that dry. But it starts and goes. It's going to be a boring video if I don't demonstrate. Oh look, I still left the keys in there. There you go. No funny noises. Oh, I have to. I just forgot to do that. Funny, but throttles aren't open, so I can't go in there anyway. I have to talk louder because someone bitched and moaned and grizzled that the volume wasn't good enough. Engines are noisy. Unless I speak up a lot, it might be hard to hear me. Get over it. Yes, there's my rant for the day. I better turn that off. That'll do. No one's getting it out of here tonight anyway. Good luck. And I don't think it's fitting through that door. So, there we go. The nice seats in there, eh? Did I show you those? Look at that. That's kind of like what it had in there in the past, except this is proper. Good versions. What was in there were SSM, specialty seat manufacturers from Te Awamutu back in the day. But these are, of course, Recaros, real Recaros. Looks nice, looks good. Going to have spoken to the owner about these clamps. She said that the hoses were blowing off. I don't know what boost it's running now. It must be more than what I ever ran in it because I never had that issue. But she's changed all these. I hate these. I don't know if I've been so openly honest with her about them. She'll listen to this. Hopefully laugh. These belong on excavators and trucks, not modified cars. There's some much nicer clamps. They're residing on this this almost identical car that's up here. So we can see the bottom of a Z32 two-seater twin turbo, and the top of it is exactly the same time, and the engine bay in that one is the same color as this one. So it's all pretty, yeah, Zception. I've suggested, and we've already discussed it actually, and they're a nice phase 2 make them. They're a nice aluminium extruded clamp that's been machined, and I've suggested we go with silver rather than trying to go with red, because it's not going to match that red and it's going to stand out, it's going to look funny. But if we do silver ones, it's going to look ace, awesomeness. And she's on board with that, but I didn't criticize those quite as heavily in person, but I have now. I better go and call her. So she's, yep. Anyway, like I said, short video. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and all that crap. There's video coming from the drags and stuff. It's probably going to end up turning up after this one, because this short one will be real easy to stitch together and throw up for you. All right, cheers, bye.